I'll start this episode by saying that if you have not listened to the previous episode, please go ahead and listen to it, okay? Thank you. Be an agent of progress. Listen to the previous episode and then listen to this one. On that note, welcome back to the Atypical Adult Podcast. So I said to start this podcast again. So I started recording before, but somebody came and started mowing. Those people that just like trouble started mowing how many grass is there that the person is mowing? I don't know. Person just came and started making the noise and very distracting something. So I had to stop. But then I just said, well, let me just start from the beginning again. So how are you guys doing? What have you been up to? What's been going on? I've been looking at everything that's been going on in the world and it's just scary. I think the world's about to end, but then we say that a lot, so I don't even know when exactly. It's like this is the beginning of the end, or this is the end of the beginning of the end. No, that doesn't make sense. The beginning of the end of the end. The end of the beginning of the end. I don't even know what it is. But anyway, with everything going on all over the world in different places, in Afghanistan, my heart goes out to all the women and children that are stranded, because I know the men are the ones making the rules. It's just very unfortunate. And then with their president allegedly running away, carting away money to a different country, that's just, I don't even know, that's just wicked. And then there's Nigerian government. Nigerian government is, since that one newspaper randomly announced that tech is the new oil, I guess since that pay stack stuff that happened, was it earlier this year? If that happened this year, then this year feels like it's a long time ago already. But yeah, that happened, and then they say tech is the new oil, and well, here we are. Now they are freezing the accounts of a couple of fintech startups in Nigeria, and it's so annoying. So if you have accounts in Rise First, Bamboo, and I think 2 others, I think they've come out to say that your money is still safe, you're still good to go, but the accounts are frozen. Their accounts are frozen for like 6 months thereabout. I think you can still do like transactions on your account, but it's just that I'm just thinking about the founders and the people who are like in charge, like the kind of stress that they're probably going through right now. It's going to be crazy. It's like there's just no day that would pass by that Nigeria will not make you say or more. Like it's like they just, anything that just makes Nigerians happy, let's kill it. You know that meme of that child that they brought like a candle and then the child just used their hand to slap it? That's Nigerian government. Nigerian government they are the people that you should not make any announcements. Don't make any announcement. You see those things like your parents be like that if you're like traveling out of the country, that you should not tell your some relatives or some friends or something. Nigerian government they are those people that you should not tell. Anything that is good that is happening, don't tell them. Don't tell them till you are so strong and they can't do anything. And that's the chance that Nigerian government cannot do anything is quite slim, because those people are crazy. But yeah, that's where we are. Quite annoying. But I know that Nigerians are very smart and they will always find a way, especially the Nigerian tech community. It's full of very smart individuals. So I know that we'll scale through eventually. Might take some time, but we'll scale through. On that note, let me talk about the song of the week, I guess. On me, well, personally, what have I been doing? Well, I had to take like a couple of, really tough decisions this week, but I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling confident. I mean, last week I was feeling very, tired, beaten down and whatnot. But this week I feel confident. I feel like, I'm ready to take on the challenges that come in. So that's what's going on with me. I really can't talk about any details yet, but yeah, we'll see. I'm also having like withdrawal symptoms because I know that I will be wrapping up this season in a couple of days. This is the second to last episode, and I'm just thinking to myself, oh wow, 11 episodes. I'm thinking, okay, so in like 2 weeks now I'll probably not be recording anything. I mean, I'm not really sure. I haven't made any serious plans for what would go on with like season 2, or when there would be a season 2, or even if there will be a season 2. To be really honest, I haven't like really thought that out well, so I don't know what will happen, but we'll see how it goes. I mean, depending on a couple of factors. So depending on how this season goes and how much people are, or how many people are interested, or people that get to listen to it, and also people, if I'll actually prefer that people join me in the next season. So that's something I'm just thinking about and trying to figure out, but we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, I'm just trying to enjoy the 2 episodes I have left, which is this one and the one that's coming up next week. So yeah, moving on from that, there is also song of the week. The song of the week, or songs, because I decided to choose two. I'm talking about confidence this week, and I have two songs that I feel like they they relate somehow. You might feel they don't, but I think they do. So, so the first one is "Way Too Big" by Burna Boy, and then there's this other one by David and Sia, and that's Titanium. It's like I'm forgetting. So there's Titanium as well. So that's also something to listen to. Okay. So please check out these two songs if you're not like really familiar with them or you've never heard them before. I think you should check them out. I think they're good songs to listen to. Well, away from that, I also was following BBN. So I've not been like seriously following, but I have an idea of what's going on. So earlier this week, there was some sort of, I won't say it's an altercation, but yeah, a disagreement or a little spark between two of the really strong male contenders in the game, so Perry and White Money. Well, regardless of what people would say about people having strong personalities and whatnot, yeah, you can have a strong personality and still be polite. You can have a strong personality and not be condescending, which I think is what Perry did, is just condescending the way he spoke to White Money. So yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at with this show. I think they're good now. I think they're okay. I mean, they're back to like doing their tax right and whatnot. So I guess they're okay. They're good. They'll sort it out. They're men. Today I'll be talking about confidence and being a more confident person. So if you're someone that struggles with being a confident person, which I think we all kind of struggle with, but then I wouldn't say I'm completely sure, because some people say that they are never afraid of anything and they're always sure what they're doing and they got it and whatnot. But me, there are times when I'm scared, or there are times when I'm afraid, and there are times when I don't feel as confident as I have probably been before. So I'm just sharing a couple of things that I think can help anybody, things that I tend to do or tend to just, consider when I'm feeling not so confident. Okay. I'd say the first thing is that you should learn something new. Pick up something new. So there might be something that you've been, thinking about trying, but you're just like, I don't know if I'll do it well or something. Pick it up and start it. Start small, okay? Start small. Go out of your comfort zone a little bit, okay? And do it afraid. Some people, they find it difficult to say no, and that just might be something that you need to start doing. So maybe say no to one girl's night out. It won't kill you. Don't disappoint your friends like that, but say no to a random conversation that always just saps your energy and you don't feel like it's adding any value to you. Just start saying no little by little, and eventually you know how to say no better. But yeah, that's just a random example, okay? I'm not saying you should go up and down and start saying no randomly. So yeah, learn something new. So learning something new kind of helps you develop some form of faith in yourself. So you just believe that you can do it. You do it once, you do it the second time, do it the third time, and you start it just comes easy to you. So yeah, I picked up photography. And it's amazing how much I've been able to learn over the past few weeks just by, taking a course and just, figuring things out on my own. I'm like, wow, I didn't know I could do this. Learn something new is the point I'm trying to make. So that's one thing. The next thing I would say is to celebrate yourself. So there are things that you've been able to do and achieve. Just go back and look at those things and, pat yourself on the back a little. Say you did a good job. Tell yourself that you did a good job. Tell yourself you did a great job. Okay, so take note of the things that are on your side, or that are things that you have on your side. Take note of your talents. Take note of your achievements. Take note of your advantages. Things that you have on your side, basically. So I remember when I was teaching, or when I used to teach as a copper, I'll go to class, and for the first few classes, I was very concerned about, you take your first class and then you kind of meet like the students, you see how they are and stuff. And so when you're making notes and you're maybe making like your class notes, things that you're going to say, you find out that you just be thinking of the things that might go wrong, like maybe one annoying student that just likes to disrupt the class, or, crack stupid jokes, or just say things that are very annoying. You find out that when you're making your notes, you'll be thinking about that person just talking, and it kind of somehow tends to like guide how you teach or how you make your notes. And it's not really ideal because there's still like the 90% or 90 something percent of the class that you need to pay attention to still. I'd say focus on the advantages. So there might be that one student that listens, that decides to ask the right question, that decides to take note of what you're saying, that does the assignment well. People that do all those things. I mean, you should also pay attention to the people that can pose some form of challenge, but take note of those, celebrate those little wins, like at least 70% of the class they understood what I said, or 60% of the class, or maybe even at least one student. So take note of the things that are going well. Maybe you did a presentation to like a board, and then maybe like there's just 3 people out of maybe 8 people that agree with what you're saying, or think that take note of those people and celebrate yourself for being able to at least convince those 3 people. And then you now figure out how to do better with like the other ones. So celebrate yourself, your little wins. If you put on makeup and you looked good, someone gave you a compliment, celebrate yourself. If it's your first time driving and you did not kill anybody, celebrate yourself. So if you own your strengths and just celebrate the amazing things that you're able to do. Okay, it makes you more confident. Next thing I would say is that you should set attainable goals. Now, setting attainable goals to me just gives you a sense of direction. It helps you know what you need to do and how you need to do what you need to do. Sort of. The thing is, if you don't have goals or things that you have in mind to do, and if you don't write them down, writing them down kind of makes it easier to remember, and you can always come back and tick off the things that you've been able to achieve. Basically, these goals, once you're able to like tick things off like one after the other on different days, you just see that you're making progress. It might be slow, it might not be as fast as you want it to be, but you just notice that you're making progress. And I think it's important in building your confidence. It helps you just see that you can get things done. Like if I'm able to do 60% of the things that I wrote down this week, and next week I'm able to do like 70%, I'm making progress. Setting goals also gives you a sense of direction, in the sense that if you have a list of things that you want to do, it's easier to say no to things that appear like distractions. And distractions are not necessarily always obvious. Sometimes they come like opportunities. Actually, most times they come like opportunities. Whereas if you have like your goals, things that you want to do, you might be able to like clearly see, okay, this doesn't look like, it looks nice, but it doesn't look like part of what I want to be doing right now. I still have like these things I've written down that I want to pursue, and so I'll just concentrate on doing that. And saying no to those things becomes easier. It's easier to say, okay, I'm concentrating on this right now, so I have to say no to this. It's easier to turn those things down. Now, it also helps you take away distractions, some things that are like clearly distractions. So say for instance, you're a student, you're studying for exams and whatnot, you've written like the number of things that you have to read. If someone, maybe your elder sister or someone comes and like, they want to send you on an errand or something, and damn well your exam is tomorrow, it's easier to say no because you have to read this long list of things, or you have to study this long list of things. So it's easier to say no. I know you can be bullied and whatnot, but stand your ground the first time. You'll get better the next time. The thing is, if you don't have things that you want to do, and you don't look like you have like a sense of direction, people will consider that your time is probably less valuable than theirs, and then they will give you something to do which they think would make it look like you're being useful. You don't want people considering your time as less valuable than their time. We all have the same 24 hours every day. So have a list of attainable goals that you want to do and stick to it, pursue it, and I think you'll be better for it and you'll be more confident. I think the next thing I would say is exercise. Who knows? Maybe exercise is the reason that the blood, maybe your lack of exercise is the reason that the blood is not really flowing around your mouth or something. So you find you have to talk. You find it difficult to say the things that you want to say or something. So exercise. I'm not going to tell you that I'm a big fan of exercise, because I'm not. And these days I'm kind of worried about taking walks. Walks are like the easiest form of exercise. To an extent, it's something that you can easily just get out and do. But for me these days, I find I'm kind of wary of it. First off, I'm tired of people staring at me. Now there's people staring at you because they're staring at you because you look good or something. But people staring at you, or you're passing by someone's house and then they're turning on, or they are ensuring that their car is locked, or things like that. Things that people of color generally face in neighborhoods. These days I'm not really that interested in taking walks, to be honest. Like I'm not that interested in taking walks, but I tend to like do stretches and all that maybe follow YouTube videos and things like that. I do stretches. I have like a dumbbell. I tend to use that sometimes, but not every time because that thing is heavy. It's very heavy, so I prefer to just do stretches. And I'm thinking about getting like a bike at some point, those gym bikes, so I can at least have that in the house and, be able to exercise more with that one. I think maybe from a health perspective, it kind of releases like those happy feel good chemicals that make you feel good. I don't know for sure, but I think there's something like that. Exercise, I promise you, it will make you feel more confident. I promise you. I'm not some health expert, but I think it works. So that's my disclaimer, okay? So the next thing I'd say is that you should look good. Look good, feel good. Look good, smell good, feel good. Looking good is good business, okay? Do you notice that if you are practicing for something and, the thing is not flowing, if you're trying to like read a speech or something, maybe you're practicing for some speech and it's not flowing very well, just go and dress up, put on makeup, look good, then stand in front of the mirror. Now read that speech again. You see the way you be sounding to just be more, you just be sounding posh. You just be sounding, you be wondering whether it's still the same person. So look good though. Look good and, smell good. Have you noticed that some of those people that talk a lot, they talk boldly or something, they are very supposedly free-spirited and whatnot. Sometimes they just look good. So you just know that you will listen to them or you'll be attracted to them because they look good. So smelling good can help you. It can uplift your mood. A good mix of, wooden scents, floral scents, fruity scents, things like that. They can be very attractive and they can also be like a good conversation starter. Someone just think about it now. If someone just walks up to you now and they're just like, and they just smell so good, even though you are not in the mood to talk to them, do you realize you want to talk to them? You want to talk to that kind of person. If someone just compliments you, just walks by and just compliments you, like, I love your cologne, or I love your perfume, like, you just see that you just start shining your teeth from nowhere. Imagine if it's a fine guy talking to a girl. I'm starting to say rubbish, but please look good and smell good. It will help you to make you more confident, okay? To boost your confidence a little. I think one more thing I'd say is that you should stop comparing yourself. Now, if you're like me and you tend to open social media a lot just to look for, in quotes, inspiration. Looking for inspiration. I'll go there. I'll be going through like people's like photographers generally. So I'm going through their pictures. I still even caught myself yesterday. So yesterday I was going through like pictures and just looking. So because of what I'm learning currently in photography, I'm learning about light, and basically from pictures I can tell where the person placed the light or how they arrange the light by basically looking at the pictures. And these days I can even tell who took the picture to an extent. So I'm looking at these pictures and I'm like, and then there was a photographer that I stumbled on. I'm just like, wait, this guy is younger than me, because I think he posted like his birthday picture or something. Like, oh my God, he's so popular and he's younger than me. Wow. Like, I was really shocked. And then I was now looking at the things that he has been able to do, and I'm just like, hey, when will I reach here? And I'm just there looking at myself and looking at this guy, and I'm like, wow, this is crazy. But eventually I was able to like catch myself, like, babes, hold up. In the same space, you have your own plan, you have your own touch, you have your own, you're going to take your time and you're going to get to where you are supposed to be, not necessarily where this person is, okay? Your lane is different and you're different. Yeah, don't spend too much time comparing yourself with somebody else or with people that you think are maybe supposedly doing better. Of course, there's a certain, healthy level of competition that whether you like it or not, it exists in the marketplace. It exists in the world generally. So one person gets picked up, the other person somewhat feels left behind or whatnot. But don't compare yourself that much with other people, because your journey eventually is different. You did not come to this world together. You're not necessarily going together. If you're going to compare yourself at all, at least compare yourself with what you were before. I will not say it's entirely healthy, because to be honest, our best every day would vary. We have different resources on different days. You might not have the same energy level that you had last week to do a lot of things, but to an extent, you should just ensure that you're doing the best that you can do at that moment with all the resources that you have at your disposal. Okay, so if you can go ahead and compare yourself with like maybe where you were yesterday. Maybe I was able to say I'm a writer and I was able to like write three blog posts last month, and this month I'm really able to write 2. You might think, oh, that was not good enough or something, but maybe the 2 you wrote this month, they're like 3,000 words each, and what you wrote last month was probably like 500 words each. So your best different points would vary, but just make sure that you're doing the best you can do with all the resources you have at that point in time. I think you should compare over time as opposed to comparing in, between last week and this week, or between yesterday and today. It might not be healthy for you to do that. So that being said, I'll just leave you with this. Prove yourself to yourself, and remember that your willingness to walk away from the table is your greatest or your strongest negotiating power. Willingness to walk away without anything is your strongest negotiating power. So yeah, that's all I had to say. I don't know what that has to do with everything I just said, but maybe it does have something to do. Okay, so that's all I have to say this week. I hope that you two have an amazing weekend. It's the 3rd weekend in August. Today that I'm recording this is World Photography Day, so please wish me happy Photography Day. I haven't taken any pictures yet, but it's still the day to celebrate. So yeah, I hope you have an amazing weekend. I hope to see you guys in the last episode. I think I'm going to have a questionnaire this week. I'm not too sure yet, but I think I'm going to have one. It's just, if you find one in the description box or in the comment section, then you know I have one. So please feel it if you find one there. I think I want to have one. So let's see how that goes. Till next week, stay blessed, stay safe, and have an amazing time. Bye.